Good afternoon. This is Tom Alexander. It is Monday, January 10th. It is 4:27 p.m. Eastern Time in the U.S. And this is a special report that is a follow-up from a report sent this weekend. Sent out a written report as well as a video report. I would suggest that if you have not watched those, you refer to those because this will make more sense. Basically, what happened today is what I had posited might be in front of this week, and that was specifically a early week washout and then a potential important swing low. And so far, it could not be more perfect. It almost makes me nervous that it's so perfect. Now, I did also mention the importance of this level in the NDX, and they ran this level in grand fashion and then just jerked it right back. I think it is quite positive that the NDX actually closed above Friday's close. The S&P did not quite close above Friday's close, which is interesting. I also mentioned in the report this weekend that, I'm not showing my screen, which probably would be helpful. Now, here we go. Okay, so you can see the NDX over here. The cash market did close above the cash close of Friday. It tore up this level this morning, gap below, went straight down for about an hour and then straight back up, as did all the other indices. So the price action into the close is unequivocally bullish based on information at hand. Now, one thing I'll point out, and I pointed this out in the report over the weekend, is that we came into today with the S&P making 4 consecutive negative closes. Well, today will be 5 technically. 4 is very unusual. There were a lot of reasons this morning I was not pressing the short side of this market. I went over those for members in the live trade room in real time. If you'd like to become a member, by all means, please go to the website and sign up for a membership. Because I do these reports every single day at the close, regardless of what's going on. Now I'm doing one, I'm sending it to everybody because I think it's important. And I think it illustrates the power of understanding how auction markets work. So now what we could have in place is an important pivot low prior to new all-time highs. That's the bottom line. Now, if we were to, in the next day or two, turn around and test these lows, I would, based on, again, information in hand, I'd be looking, I'd have a bias to buy that. And there are many if and or buts that would go into that. I wouldn't just blindly buy it. What I would do is I would take a look at all 4 of the indices and see how they are acting relative to one another. And if they're all over the place, that would give me even more incentive to buy it. Because when there's institutional money in here, it moves in lockstep. Today is a perfect example of that, on the way down and on the way back up. When these 4 indices, when there's significant buying and significant selling, regardless of the relative strength of weakness on a real long-term time frame, and we certainly have relative weakness in the Russell versus the S&P, and we have relative strength in the Dow. Nevertheless, when big money is in here on these directional days, you want to make sure everything is moving in lockstep, and it will almost tick for tick if it's a real move. That's why if we were to revisit these lows, if things are not in lockstep, I would be more inclined to be a buyer than a seller. Now, what do I think can happen from here? Well, I'm just going to take the S&P. And there are a number of things, obviously, that can happen from here. I think this could be an important low. We could go straight back to new all-time highs from here. There are, the price breadth setup is in play, all sorts of things. The strong momentum, the strong rally off the compressed level, all of those things. But it doesn't have to do that. What we could do, this is my best guess at an area to take a look at to the upside, would be right in here. So what another possibility is if the S&P rallies tomorrow or Wednesday, and maybe we form some sort of balance for a few days between this high and this low. Now, the other thing that should occur sooner rather than later. All right, here's breadth. And by the way, something that is different this time that has not occurred since the March 2020 low is we've had 3 negative 2000 breadth readings occur within 2 months. Usually these occur about every 2 to 3 months. We've had 3 in 2 months, and actually today spent most of the day around negative 2000, or actually over half the day around negative 2000 before we got the bungee jump. Now, because we did get the bungee jump and because breadth did expand into the close, what we have is that classic price breadth buy setup, because this was a momentum low. We closed negative 2000 breadth. We went lower today on less momentum. So maybe we're off to the races. That's been the case in every instance similar to this since the March 2020 low. So if it's different this time, it's different this time. I cannot overemphasize how important this level is. At some point, we will test or take out this level. And that's going to happen. I'm not suggesting it's going to happen this week or this month, but I bet it happens this year. So what I want to see now, I want to see this positive breadth reading plus 1800 or so, and then we can get a gauge. That'll be the next piece of the puzzle that we can then say, okay, we have that now. If it's bullish, this should happen. If it's bearish, then this should happen. If it's bullish, it's going to look something like this, where you get, here's the plus the big momentum spike here, and you can see we went up considerably. That's typically what happens. You get a momentum spike in the market that like occurred here, and then you go up on good breadth, but it never exceeds that momentum spike in breadth, and there's no way to measure how much farther it will go. It's different. There's no rote way to trade it. It's a market condition, and it requires some read as we go along. I will make note that the 5-day moving average has come in considerably off of its extreme. So we will see. Guys, I hope you found this helpful. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you like the video, if you like the material, you find it helpful, please like it. You guys have a great day. If things change, I'll let you know.